As we said, many elements of the different plans from the Biden administration seem to be hidden in these different bills. But this was part of the stimulus bill, the COVID stimulus bill. And if these individual states then decide to lower taxes, they would then have to return that amount of any stimulus money that had been given to those particular states. Joining us now to discuss, as promised, is West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, it's good to be with you today. Thank you.
So did we do a good job of explaining what would happen with these states if they then took it upon themselves, heaven forbid, to lower taxes for their constituents?
Yes, so we're very worried with this provision because it really sets up a chilling effect for states across the country. I mean, just imagine if you're a state and you're trying to expand your charitable contribution provision, encourage people to donate to charities. Maybe you want to lower your sales tax or lower your income tax a little bit. Just modest year-to-year changes, your revenue may go down. Under this provision, then you may be subject to a big clawback by the federal government. That's a huge problem and really goes after traditional state authorities. And I would note that we've never seen a provision quite like this come out of Congress. Sometimes you see the provision saying that you can't directly use the money for tax cuts. This is very different. This is saying you can't directly or indirectly use the money to lower tax revenue. And the problem with that is we think that it's not only constitutionally vague, but it's coercing the states to make a choice. You have to give up one of your core constitutional functions, or you don't get a huge check from the federal government. That's violated of the 10th Amendment. That's why we're in court.
Yeah, and that could have a chilling effect in the future, I guess. It becomes a slippery slope like it happens here. Then they apply it to something. We're going to give you this money, but you can't do this. So it comes with strings attached. I guess there are often strings attached, but they don't usually have to do with your taxing authority, right? Where does that power come from, that taxing authority?
Well, the state's taxing power is consistent with the state's ability to function as sovereigns. And this is how they run state government. And many people don't realize, but the U.S. Constitution puts forth a process where you have a federal government and you have a series of state governments. And the two are technically co-equal. Yes, there are supremacy provisions and there are other provisions articulating roles for the feds and the state. But what you can't do is you can't compromise one of those core constitutional functions. And we think this provision is different than anything else in the bill because it's the only one quite like it. When they talked about pension funds and what's going on the local level, they didn't go nearly as far. So they were targeting the state's taxing authority. That's improper under the Sebelius framework and the 10th Amendment, and that's why we're suing.
So, and at the same time, the Biden administration is talking about raising taxes to pay for the nearly $3 trillion infrastructure plan.
Well, you know, it seems as if this provision may even be targeted toward a lot of the red states that were managing their economies in a frugal manner. And certainly many of them want to provide tax relief, especially given what's going on the federal government, where you have some of the biggest tax and spenders we've seen in generations. And of course, states deserve to be the laboratories of democracy, have the ability to lower their taxes, enact policies that work for their citizens. This provision represents an egregious assault on state sovereignty, and we want to go into court and win this one because I think it's going to be very important for the battles ahead on infrastructure and many other laws.
We've got about 30 seconds, sir. Mr. Morrisey, how is West Virginia doing?
You know, look, we're doing great. We're working really hard. I think our state did a terrific job on the vaccine rollout, and we're trying to really get ahead by becoming more competitive with the states that we're touching. So, but we're very worried about this Biden and Pelosi overreach, and that's why I'm going to use every ounce of our office's authority to challenge it and beat them in court.
All right. Thank you. Patrick Morrisey, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.